Well, hello and welcome to the Cosmic Echo Tarot Experience. And it is that, I can promise you, it's an experience. It's a reading which connects historic cycles of frequency through your repeating tarot energy. The past comes through you. You and your life are an echo of past energy. What we experience in this life is not new. We think that it is because it's the first time it is consciously coming to us, and we go, "Ooh, wow." But these are ancient energetic frequencies repeating and repeating and repeating again for thousands, millions of years. We see them as new, but they're not. Each life is an echo of the last time. So, using tarot as a tool, I locate the current frequency. Once I find it, then I use other tools to tell a story, which allows you to manifest your spiritual kryptonite. That's what it is. It's kryptonite. It's powerful juju. And believe it or not, you already manifest, but you do so negatively. I know you say the words, positive words, oh, I want, or whatever, I'm grateful, I'm happy, whatever. But inside, you've been programmed to think negatively. And so you get the negative stuff. And then you look around and you go, see, I can't manifest. Look, just this crap keeps happening to me. Well, because that's what you're feeling, thinking that's what's in your spirit. That's how we're trained. So I use this two-step metaphysical technique to hone in on the tarot energy, the tarot frequency, that kryptonite. And I use the other tools, astrology, numerology, which are the signs of cycles. I use them as a kind of a GPS. So we have the tarot. By the way, I've done tarot for over 20 years. Found out from my experience it doesn't predict a damn thing, but it is the signs of potential, your potential. Your potential. You choose, yes, I'm going to use it. No, I won't. If you choose to use it, now the astrology and numerology come in. By the way, I've done astrology, numerology for 50 years. They're the signs of cycles. So tarot, the signs of potential. Astrology, numerology, the signs of cycles. I put them together so that you get the essence, you get the image. You can see, hear, feel, touch, even taste what it is that your soul desires. To do all this, the information has to be simple, has to be clear, has to be powerful. There's no fantasy, no unicorns, no rainbows, no mysterious wave of energy coming from outer space that nobody knows what the hell it's going to do, but they pretend like they think that they know. Doing these things together, the tarot, the numerology, the astrology, the matrix is revealed, your matrix, in repeating cosmic cycles, bringing ancient frequencies into the present, into your life. Remember, it's about your choice, it's about your potential. That's what tarot is all about. You choose. Knowing the repetitive energetic patterns around you enables you to use these ancient frequencies to your benefit, intelligently, wisely, lovingly. Think of all of this as kind of a cosmic roadmap. Okay, tarot gives you the destination. Astrology and the imagery that I use give you the map to get to your destination, the tarot. This is a very unique package. It helps you activate your spiritual kryptonite and ride the cosmic wave in this lifetime. That energy comes back. You know how to use it. You know what to do with it. You know where you're headed. You can have the best destiny. Doesn't mean everything's going to be perfect. Doesn't mean that everything's going to be easy. That's not the point. But you will at least know what your destination is, how to get there. And then it's up to you to make the choice. Today's reading has kind of an interesting title to it. Better than the bathroom. What the hell do I mean by this? Well, the idea behind today's tarot reading is the concept of peace. P-E-A-C-E, peace, calm, joy. Money cannot buy peace. That's something that you have to find on your own. And over my lifetime, I've heard so many people say, you know, when I get home, the only time that I can have any time to myself, I can have any peace, is when I go to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom, lock the door, and I just 15 minutes, half hour, I'm by myself. So that's where the title comes from. Better than the bathroom. In other words, it's seeking peace any way that you can find it. Alrighty? That makes sense when you kind of think about it. Little bit of humor there. Better than the bathroom. Seeking peace. You don't have to go in there and lock the door. You can find it inside of you. We're going to get to all the good stuff coming up in just a moment. I want to do the little bit of cosmic cycle stuff to kind of reiterate where we're going with this whole procedure. Astrology is a kind of alchemy. It's the science of cycles. Literally, what goes around comes around. You've heard the expression. There's nothing new. It's understanding these cycles repeat many, 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 many times, giving life to your matrix. They come up, hit you like a wave. You can resist the wave or you can ride the wave. It permits us to feel and focus on the power of the tarot. The combination of these two multiplies the other. It gives us more power, more control over our destiny. And the destiny in today's reading is finding peace, even if it means you gotta lock yourself in the bathroom for 15 minutes to a half hour just to please leave me alone. I want to remind you that I do have an email, tau-tarot at proton.me, tau-tarot at proton.me. Feel free to contact me. You can say anything you want to say. I'm reaching out, and I hope that you do much the same. That's tau-tarot at proton.me. Alrighty, so let's get to it. Let's begin with the astrology as we take a look at the GPS, the roadmap to the tarot reading for today. Alrighty, so let's see what we have here. Some interesting things to be sure, no doubt about it. Alrighty. I'm doing something a little bit different today. I'm putting in an image of planets. It's a cosmic synchronization. And why am I doing that? Because in 2026, we get that very thing, a cosmic synchronization. Something that doesn't happen very often at all. We're getting planets lining up. You know that the faraway planets are all in air and fire. I've talked about that before. You know, right now they're all retrograde, including Mercury. So you got that. They're in fire and air. But it gets even a little more interesting because you have three planets, Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, who are at 4 degrees, whether they're in an air sign or fire sign. 4 degrees. That's really lining things up uniquely. It rarely happens. Oh, yeah, you can get them in fire and air or earth and water and whatever, but to line them up at the same degree, Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, and these are powerful planets, man. They're a long ways away. That is extra special. So 2026 marks the time when the end game begins. Now, from 2026 on, no rules is going to be the rule. The deep state will go full out to hook us up to their tech kingdom. More pandemics, more control of everything. They want to just take charge. I mean, they're even doing that with cars. They're building them cheaply so they fall apart. And they're setting people who buy these cars up. Oh, you want your car to have all of the benefits? You want your car to be able to start? You want your car to be able to whatever? You got to sign up for a monthly fee. They're doing what every other business is doing, $19.95 a month. You don't pay it, your car doesn't start. It sits there. It's all control, everything. If it's not your imagination, it's your fear. Or it's turning your car into into just a lump of, I can't even say metal because a lot of the parts are now plastic, purposely. So they want more pandemics. They want more control. They're working on electric money. They're working on electronic capture of your identity. It's all control, and they're just not going to go away. We have to make their plans and make them disappear. You can't protest. You can't do anything but get them the hell out. There are no other options. I'm not going to go to their store. I'm not going to buy anything. How long is that going to last? A week, 2 weeks, depending. Let's say it's a grocery store. And protesting, they don't give a damn. Doesn't change anything, doesn't change their bottom line. And if you really piss them off and you have a modern car, they're going to make it so that you can't start your car. You can't even listen to your radio. You can't open your doors. You can't, because it's all electric and they control the electric. But anger and fear will not work. Find peace. You could do it in a bathroom, I suppose, anywhere. Find peace. Find a plan in your heart and your spirit. Then, and only then, will you be ready to do battle. Let's go to the existential point for today. Here's RFK, big and bold. 31 states are banning geoengineering. Saying enough with that crap in the sky, because what they're finding out is there's all kinds of pollution and garbage and poisons and toxins and even human fetal tissue. As that stuff comes to the ground, you wonder why you're feeling funky. You wonder why you think you have the flu all the time. Well, if you vax, that could be what's working on you. But at the very least, if you vaxxed, your immune system's weakened, so you got this crap coming from the skies. Hey. Over on the left side, we got Bill Gates, who wants to kill cows because they fart, and of course, we know how dangerous that is. And he also wants gene sequencing and satellite data so we can become climate resilient. The point of the matter is that all the science shows that this climate crap they've been sending us doesn't mean squat. It's a lie. But of course, Bill Gates believes there are too many humans on the planet, so he really doesn't care. He wants to get rid of 95% of us by 2050. He's not the only one. There's a whole list of them. 95% of us. Means you're sitting in a room with 10 people, more than 9 of those people are going to be gone by 2050 if he gets his way. If he gets his way. And over on the far left, Democritus, an ancient Greek philosopher, said, quote, "The man enslaved to wealth can never be honest." Wow. The love of money is the root of all evil. If you're enslaved to wealth, take a look at Washington. Take a look at everybody who's running the company. Take a look at this Jew guy from Israel who's coming into the United States, buying up apartment complexes and throwing people out. Why does he do it? Because he can. The man enslaved to wealth can never be honest. That means you take 99% of Washington, burn it down. Because the people are dishonest. They are enslaved to wealth. Picture Perfect is where we go next. And I do this because paying attention, I begin to understand that the narrative around Zionism, especially, but let's say Israel generally, is nothing but a lie, a fabrication. When they call you a bad person, I am now beginning to believe, okay, so you might have been an asshole in your life, but you also had some good stuff. For example, Muammar Gaddafi. He treated the Libyans for the 30 plus years that he was running the country. Great, man. They got their education paid for. They got homes paid for. They got paid when they had more children. They got paid, their cars paid. They got stuff taken care of. They were getting fresh water. He was getting ready to green the northern part of Africa so that they'd have more food. Everybody. The money went to the people, not to the government. The big mistake was that he wanted Africa to have its own money. Well, the Jew bankers, the Rothschilds, and others, you don't do that shit. They killed Lincoln, they killed JFK, tried to kill Andrew Jackson, tried to kill Teddy Roosevelt, tried to kill Franklin Delano Roosevelt because they messed with the money. So when Muammar Gaddafi started talking, hey, I want Africa to have its own money, another guy who did that was Vladimir Putin. Yeah. That's why they're mad at him. When he took over, I think in the early 2000s, got rid of all the Rothschild bankers out of Russia, said, get the hell out. By the way, so did Hitler. So one of the first things he did was he got, in fact, he even arrested a Rothschild. And I think that ultimately was what sealed his fate. Nevertheless, we talk about Putin as being such a jerk, such an asshole, and probably he is on some level. Every human being I've ever met in my life's an asshole on some level. But here's some information for you. Britain has invaded 171 nations. France has murdered 22 African presidents. U.S. has over 750 military bases. And frankly, the United States is the number one terrorist in the world. We go in for corporate reasons, oil, gold, timber, whatever the hell we want, and we go in there and we take over countries. So since the U.S.'s military muscle, France uses murder, Britain has invaded almost 200 nations around the world. How does Russia pose any threat to your reality? Again, I'm not saying he's perfect. Anybody who puts that in there is making up stuff, pulling it out of their ass. It's just that when the Jews say this is a bad person, after what they're doing, I don't believe them anymore. Oh, and along that idea too, Nicole Shanahan is saying, guess what? We're on the precipice of being forced to live a life of hell. And we know who's behind it. And finally, on the left side, rewire your thoughts, reprogram your life. Find that peace. If it means you got to go in the bathroom by yourself for 15 minutes, a half hour to get peace, quiet, do it. You're going to need it more than you realize as we hit 2026. Hey, why don't we get to the tarot stuff, right? Here's the destination. Here's the nitty gritty. Interesting things when I put out the 3 cards today, all of them were swords, which means you need truth and honesty right now. With yourself first, because then you have some way to measure truth in general. But that's what we're looking for right now. Above all else, truth and honesty. Very, very important. All swords. So we begin with the 8 of Swords. Your thoughts are holding you hostage, just like the idea of you thinking that Putin is a complete asshole. Maybe he's 90% asshole, but he's not the threat that the people are in Washington. And they've proven that very clearly, succinctly over a lot of years. Change your head. 2 of Swords says you got to decide what is true. So that's why the 8 of Swords is so important. You realize now your own worst enemy. You don't have peace. In large part, it's because you're not letting yourself have peace. 2 of Swords says, stop it. Stop it. Decide what is true for you. And then the Page of Swords says, change your thinking. Okay, you come to the decision, I'm the one that's screwing up. I got to get myself right. Good. Once you make that decision, you figure out what is true for you and then act on it. Change your thinking. You're looking for peace? Begins with you. Again, you can do it for 15 minutes to a half hour in the bathroom if you want to. But wherever you find your peace, you will find it in you first and foremost. And that's what you have to take care of before we get to 2026, because peace will come at a premium. Hey, we're out of time. Thank you very much for making the investment. I appreciate it. I hope we get together again tomorrow. I will have another tarot reading for you. Always is a pleasure. Many thanks. And also like and subscribe. Oh, man, they're up to no good on the internet. It's all algorithm stuff. They don't confront you. They don't tell you anything. They don't say anything. They just change the algorithm. And then you're gone. So please like and subscribe. Between now and the next time you and I do tarot together, peace and blessings.